What's up everybody? Welcome to Life of a Board Gamer. My name is Daniel and I have some sad news. Mind Clash Games did it again. They again made a game that you want to spend your money on and it's not cheap. So yeah, unfortunately, when you are finished with this video, you will definitely want to get this one. It's a freaking phenomenal game. That's that. So, sad intro aside, what's up everybody? Welcome to Life of a Board Gamer, VOIDFALL. I finally played it. This will be one of the, I think, longer video because I really want to talk about this game on and on and on and on. Mind Clash Games, they are insane. Besides Tricarion, which kind of is like for me, so I think they just like make games. It's like they go into my head while I sleep. And then what would Daniel really like? And then they go inside, check out and see, okay, so that's the game we're going to make. And then they do that. I'm not sure how are they doing this, but VOIDFALL is freaking phenomenal. I'm just going to say it right from the start. It's phenomenal game. It is such a great game. It almost had a chance to skyrocket to the second best game because Anachrony is still my #1. But this had a chance, but it kind of lost it. Why, I'm going to tell you by the end of the video at some point. But first let me show you what you get inside here. I will not set the game up, of course, because the setup is something for this game. So yeah, okay, there's a lot to go through, so I'm just going to take my time. This is going to be a little bit longer video, but stick with me, it's really worth it. So first of all, you are greeted with 4 full pages of icons in this game, just, you know, to scare you off by design, you know. So there's like a gazillion different icons, but let me tell you, these icons work and they are really easy to understand. And every time you find some of these icons on the card, it's really easy to find them in the rulebook itself and see what they're doing. And if you are maybe not sure, you can of course always take the rulebook and just check out in the rulebook, and that's that. So each of the players will get a certain components that I'm going to show you right in a second. Just wanted to show you the blue ones because I like to play blue, you know, so that's how it is. Where are they? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so each player will start with the set amount of cards, and these cards can change through, because this game is scenario based. So the scenario maybe tells you to remove this card or this card and take some other card, put it in your deck, or maybe some race that you are playing replaces some of your cards or adds some extra cards. But all the play, everything happens around these cards, and you will be able to play any of these cards a set amount of times depending of the scenario and everything. So this one gives you this is like your point tracker. This is how you track your point. And the last game I had 205 points. I really was good, but I think I actually lost. That's what's really funny. And you will start with some regular stuff. So this is like a marker to track when it's your turn to play. These are used to track different trees on the main board that you will have. So you will track some advances. This is for that's different for each of the factions. You have some cubes. These cubes represent your ships, and we have some dice. These dice represent population that work on the planet that produces your resources, and that's basically like what you get in each of the games. And you also get one of these, and this is your production and currently how many resources you have. So over here on this side, this is where you will track how many of each resources, how many factories you have, and depending how many factories you have, that's how many resources you will produce. But let's say, for example, if you have 5 factories, you will produce 3 of these resources. Even if you have 4 factories, you will still produce 3. So that's really cool. That doesn't mean like if you have 9 you will produce 9. No, you will actually produce 6. And then over here you will just track how many of those resources you actually collect after each turn. And yeah, each of the player will get one of those. So let's move them aside. And you also have this just tells you that some cards can be bought in the first round of the game. You will get a bunch of different ships, and this game can be played cooperatively or competitively. I exclusively played competitively. I didn't even think about playing it cooperatively, just so you know that this is me reviewing the game just from the competitive point of view. That's what I'm trying to say. So you get a bunch of these different ships, and these are all kinds of different ships. There's also like 3D miniatures that I am now eager to get myself, but that means that I'll have another big box full of miniatures, and I'm really not sure if I want to do that or not, because these actually work really well with the game itself. Miniatures might you might be knocking them over with your hand and all that. So these are just ships, and you put cubes in them. However, you can put up to 3 cubes, which means you have 3 ships of that kind in each of the systems. And there's also some big bad guys that will attack you throughout the game. So when you play competitively or cooperatively, these guys will hassle you around. They will start coming out from the void and attack you. And this is just this is like a corruption stuff. This will mess up with your production, not with your production, but you will not be able to raise your production if you have some corrupted population on the planet. So you will need to remove these things, and they will try to stop you in producing different stuff. So you get some extra pegs, nothing important. You get some tokens that you will collect throughout the game that will give you different resources. And as I said, there is a bunch of cards that are tied to different races, to different scenarios, and they are noted over here to which race they are belonging. And depending how you play this game, you will need some of these cards to put, depending which race you play, which scenario you play. And let me explain a little bit this card. So these cards, basically like the normal cards that I showed you, that each player starts with, they have all kinds of different actions on them. It's usually 3 actions, and you can play 2 of them. There's some tokens that you can acquire throughout the game that are really helpful, but you can spend them to play another 3rd action if you want to do so. And it's just awesome the way that this works, because you have to just pay resources and do whatever you need to do. And playing these cards, knowing when to use which card, is really great. And each round you don't know which amount of cards you are going to be playing, so you can't like be fully prepared for the next turn. You can't map your turn like, okay, so I'll play this card, this card, this card, and then this one, and then this one, because that's 5 cards if I'm not mistaken, or 4, it doesn't really matter. But maybe this round you can only play 3 cards and the round will be over. So now you have to accommodate your strategies to fit that amount of cards that you are allowed to play in this round. So that will change for each scenario. You will shuffle in some cards, you will see at randomly what happens, and it's freaking phenomenal. Okay, let's continue going through the game itself. So you have some, this is a companion app that calculates the fight for you. Fight in this game is really awesome because it's deterministic. I think that's the term that people are using. And the thing is, each fight that you want to initiate, you automatically can calculate who will win or who will lose, of course. And you really know when you are going to lose, and you can prepare yourself, maybe because the bad guys are going to attack you, and you really want to prepare yourself. So you can always calculate how much defense you need to put on the board, on the system itself. And so yeah, we have this thing over here. This is, if I'm not mistaken, for solo play, because we haven't used this one yet. So I think this is like for solo play or something. And then we have some more rule books. So this is like a compendium. So you use this together with the rule book itself. And I know this looks scary, but if you power through, it's rewarding. So basically it gives you some lore, what happens. I haven't read through it, I kind of skimmed through it a little bit. It gives you like the general setup of the game. All the rules are explained here. And If it's like this blue one, it says it's a co-op or solo. And if it's like in a pink one, then it's for competitive play. And if it doesn't have any color, that means it's general rule binded to all types of play, which is really cool. So, you know, picking the race, doesn't matter if you're playing solo, cooperatively, competitively, you need to pick your race. So this has no colors on them, so you know you need to read through this. And there's a lot going on in here, but most of the book are actually scenarios, because as I said, this game is scenario based game. And over here you will see the complexity of each of the scenarios, and these are like solo scenarios that you can play. And if you just play with different race, there's like proposed race to use, but you can use any race you want. So there's like not like maybe these few games of solo. There's really way more. You just play different race and stuff will happen completely differently. And then we have this cooperative mode, which is blue ones. So it's for 2, 3, and 4 players. So you'll choose which one you want to play. And then there's like a competitive mode for 2, 3, or 4 players. And it just tells you the complexity and aggression of the game, how aggressive is the gameplay itself. For example, this one, Kingdom Come, is really like super low on aggressive, which means you will probably start way away from each other, so there's no that much aggression. While you are close to next to each other, maybe the game will end soon. But if you are playing, I don't know, Art of War, the name tells itself everything, you know, it's going to be like super aggressive. And yeah, this just tells you where, on which page you can find the scenario, and then you will just go through these scenarios to set up the game itself. And that's why the game is not 10/10 for me, is because of the setup. The setup for this game, I haven't even shown you everything yet, but I want to really talk about it. The setup for this game is insanely long. This is the game that I'm not bringing to a club. Usually it's when we meet privately on a game night, you know, in somebody's home. Usually we meet at Slaven's home, and I just bring him the game the day earlier so he can sit and set it up. Because this game requires like a good 45 minutes, maybe even to an hour, to set up certain scenarios. Because as I said, all of these tiles are very specific tiles that you need to put in here. All of these things, you need to like go find all of the technologies, all the races. You need to like set up all these decks or everything. It's just like the bad guys. All kinds of different things that you need to go through to figure all of this out. And this is where is the 4-player competitive. Just let me show you how the big maps are. So, you know, setting, for example, this map, you know, going through all this, finding all these tiles, setting them up, it's just so much. It's insane. Then we have another big rule book. This is a detailed description of the game components, and all the components, everything is really nicely explained here. So every card, this is the gold mine. The games like this should definitely have this. If they don't have, this explains each and every card, each and every token into the details, so there is no questions. What does this do? What does this do? Find it here, check it out, it will tell you. So this is like a Bible for this game itself. Then we have a rule book that actually you will start over here with reading the rule book and the core concepts, how the game works, how the fighting works, and all that. So you use these two together to set up the game. And as I said, it's a lot. This game is really a lot. Then you have this board, and actually this is what I was telling you about. Over here you will have A, B, and C cards, because that's like 3 rounds you're gonna play, and you will have 3 cards. You will just shuffle them up and pick one at random, put it over here, and it will give you some extra scoring. It will tell you how many cards you are playing this turn. And over here you will take some technologies, put them on these tokens over here, as I said, are really valuable tokens that help you out a lot with feeding your people and everything. But of course you can spend them to play extra action from your card. Usually you can only play 2, but with this token you can play 3, but then you have to get rid of the token, and that's, you know, how you want to do all of that. And then there's like a plethora of races, as you can see. These are all different races with different abilities. They do all kinds of different things. And on the other side over here, there's like a little explanation how you want to play them, their complexity, their play style. It gives you a little bit of hints. It gives you a little bit of setup for this particular race. And each of these races are really different. And those 3 square tokens, as I said, were for tracking all of these, because over here you will get some rewards, and by the end of the game you can get an insane amount of points throughout the game. And then we are not done yet. Then we come to this thing over here, and there's cards all over the place because I'm too lazy to put them in a baggies, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it eventually, I promise. And yeah, basically you get over here, as I said, a bunch of tiles. These tiles will represent your maps, and they are double-sided. On one side they can be just a regular planet, and on the other side they are some planets with some extra cool things that only they do. For example, if you control this one, you will get 2 production on each of the resources, which is really awesome. And over here you will put some defense or shipyards or defense buildings, and if it has this symbol you need to feed it with food. Over here you will have a dice. These dice are representing your population, and you have to put dice over here, and as you bring the population up, as the dice goes bigger and bigger, you will produce more and more depending which resources you put over here. So if you put like green and I don't know, the brown resources, and you have a dice that is number 5. Oh my god, I'm choking. Each of these will produce 5 of that resources. I mean, you will have 5 production, but how much you will actually produce, those dials will tell you, that I showed you by the start. You know, these dials, you know, will tell you what the difference. I apologize, for some strange reason my throat is completely like dry. And yeah, as I said, a bunch of tiles, bunch of different tiles, and when you are setting up the game you have to go through these tiles, find the specific tile for that scenario, for that specific spot, and put it in, you know, set up the map, set up the races and everything, and it just takes time. As I said, I do not bring this game to a club because it just isn't worth it, you know. And you will get one, you have these points, these are like your glory points, or however they are called, and whenever you are fighting you will get these points, and you can take them from other players, you know, give them a lesser value. These tokens, these are just your, as I said, shipyards, and these are like defensive buildings, and these can be used as those. And there's also like these resources that you are going to collect on the map throughout the game and get some rewards that way. And there's lots of dice to represent the population on the planets. You get one, if you remember, you get one of your dice, and that is like a special die that can't be corrupted because that's like your population. But these are like normal guys, and they can get easily like corrupted, so you know, you have to be careful about that. And there's tiles all over the place. Then you have this thing over here which will have these like technologies, so each of them will have one, and once you acquire them you can't have 2 of the same. So if they have the same back you can only have 1, and there is room on your board for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, because you know there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 different, but you start with the one that is like unique only to you. It doesn't have any of these symbols, so you still have 4 spaces for 4 of these. Each one you can take, and these each time when you are going in the next round you will try and score them if you fulfilled whatever they request you to do, and these are really can bring you a lots of points. There's also some extra cool dice that we still haven't played with. We still haven't played scenario that uses these guys, but I think these can't be like, these are, if they are set on a certain number they can't be lowered or increased. I think that that's what they do. And then we have this, which is really cool thing. This explains you how the fight works, and depending on scenario certain ships will be available to buy, and if they are available you're just gonna all stack them up like this, and you will just go when you are approaching, and when the first salvo is with the first round of attacking, so to say. And when you approach, you will see, like for example, as I said, these one are defensive buildings, so they will shoot one of the ships on the approach. And then when it's like a regular fight, once you are in the system, or when enemy comes in the system, these do nothing. Now you go and switch to this side and see what they are doing in a fighting. So some of them, if they are attackers, they can also like quickly destroy you if you have upgraded them, stuff like that. So yeah, you can calculate each and every fight, which is really interesting, and I really like that. So as I said, bunch of cards with all kinds of different technologies. I'm just going to show you like few of them, but basically you will, of course, as a race, start with one of these technologies like upgraded, and you are the only one who can have that. So everyone can have like torpedoes, but you can have like, for example, like supercharged torpedoes that like do insane amount of damage. If you want to upgrade it, you know, to that, and that will be only available to you. So yeah, you have to go through all of these, find all of these technologies and everything, set them up, which really takes a little bit of time. And I definitely need to put these cards in baggies, because this is not the way. And there's also some extra planets. I still think we still haven't played with these. We haven't played a scenario that involves these. And these are the cards that will determine how many rounds you will play. Each round, how many cards you will play. So you have a round 1, round 2, and round 3. And once you put the card over here, see, it tells you in this round you will play 5 cards, or maybe 6 cards. You know, 5 and 6 cards are through rounds, but on the earlier rounds you can even have like a 3 cards, you know, and 4 is like 3 is the lowest case possible, 6 is the max, but you will usually play somewhere between 4 and 6 cards. So you have to be like careful, you know, when you're planning, because sometimes your plan involves 5 cards. So next turn I will play these 5 cards, I will do this and this and that, and then comes out the card and says this round we play 4 cards, and then you are in a problem. And basically, yeah, that's it. I didn't show you these tiles. As I said, it's more of the same but different. These are like unique tiles. Each of these tiles is unique in its own way, does different things. It's just insane. So yeah, VOIDFALL. As I said, this game it's just phenomenal. This game works on everything. We played, first time we played it, we were like overwhelmed, but we actually didn't have that many questions. Of course, the iconography, you are still learning the game, you are like introducing yourself to these icons and trying to recognize what they are doing and all that. And it takes a little bit of time. But by the third game, you already know all the icons, what they do. If the arrow points that way, if the points that way, is that the card, is that the corruption, is that the advancement, is that the upgrade, is that the new card, is that the resources, whatever it is, you understand what it does. And it's insane, because there's like, as you saw, 4 pages full of icons, but by the game 3 you will rarely use that one. It's good that it's there, but you will rarely use it. The factions themselves, each of them is super different. Each of them has this like a progress tree that is, as you can see, completely different. It does different things, gives you different things. How they are managed to create this many different races, and for all of them to feel a little bit different, a little bit like, it's beyond me. It's beyond me. And as I said, this game would be 10/10. I mean, it is a 10/10 game for me. I absolutely enjoyed it. I don't know how many times I said it already. I absolutely enjoyed it, but I really do. I was blown how great this game is, that we did something that we don't usually do. Immediately next week we played another game. Immediately after it we wanted to play another game. Immediately after that we wanted to play another game, because it just wants to be played. The game really wants to be played. But the thing is, the problem is the setup. I wish I could bring it to a club. I wish I could explain it to people. There's like a huge learning curve, is really steep, you know. This game, if I bring it to a club, it's definitely going to attract some new people, and you can't tell them like, you know, I don't want to bother with teaching you the game. You want to teach people a new game, but we have a limited time in that club. We can't stay there all night. And just to explain the rules, just to set up the game, it's just I don't know if it's possible. So yeah, overall, this would be my second best game ever if the setup was a little bit faster. But what can you do? You know, if you ask me, it's a small price to pay to learn this game, to power through the setup and everything, because the game really deserves it. I'm again losing my breath over this game. Actually, I don't know. I'm actually feeling a little bit sick. This is not like scripted things going on. But Mind Clash game hit with this game. I was searching for this like a, I want to say a space opera game, sort of, you know, but I kind of don't like Twilight or Eclipse. I don't consider them bad games, but I don't enjoy them that much. But this one I really enjoy. This one, each turn, each and every card play from each and every player is really something interesting. I find myself a lot of time just looking what others are doing, how great combos they're you know, figuring out, while I'm trying to figure out how best I can combo. Then happens the turn when I score like insane amount of points, and usually like people are, okay, how did you get that? How did you get that many points? Explain, because that's not possible. And then you have to, then I do this, and then I do this, which opened this up, which moved this, which gave me this, and they were like, damn, that's a good move. So yeah, that's what I think about the game. Damn, that's a great game. VOIDFALL is freaking phenomenal game. If you are scared by all these rulebooks, there's a lot. I will not lie. There is a lot. I actually had a great help from Slaven to learn this game. On my own, I would still probably be battling with it, but he helped me out a lot to learn this game, to figure out how it works. And now I can't thank him enough, because this game is everything. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. It's great. It's a must-have. I don't know how many of the great things I can say about this game. Now to the point where do I want to have miniatures for it? Because for an Acrony without miniatures is unplayable. To me, it's completely unplayable. Miniatures are even functional, not just good looking, functional. This one with miniatures, it might be a lot going on a board and everything, and there's like a big extra box of miniatures by your side that you need to like figure out what you want to do with it. So I'm not really sure if I want to spend that amount of money on the miniatures, because I don't know how often will I be playing the game, as I said, because, you know, I can't bring it to a club unless I make people learn all the rules and just come there and we all together start setting up the game, you know, and all that. Maybe they help out. We still haven't tried that one, you know, where we set up the game together and see if that kind of maybe can speed up things a little bit. So maybe try this out. When I'm talking about it, it sounds like something we should definitely do. So yeah, overall, VOIDFALL, my end statement, is a perfect game. I just love it. I love everything about it. I love Mind Clash game. That's all. I'm going to stop with all the songs and all the things. See, I'm losing words now. I don't know anything I want to say about this game. I think I channeled already how much I liked it. It's a wonderful game. It works wonderfully. I like everything about it, from deterministic fighting to how the card plays. Everything but the setup. That damn setup, darn setup. It's so long, so hard. But yeah, that is that. That's all I have to say about it. It's a longer video, I know, but this game deserves it. I hope you stick to the end of it. And that is that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing, for spending time with me, for supporting me on Patreon, for all that shebang. And until next time. Pozdrav.